If you guys are looking for a place to get some reliable Ultimate Team coins, be sure to check the link in the description below to cointraders.co and use code LEGACY for 5% off of your purchase. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully you guys didn't have too many Capri Suns last night and you can handle watching this entire video because it's going to be a doozy. We're going to talk about everybody's favorite subject, the good old ice tilt. We're going to start with a nice little story today. We've talked about ice tilt in the past, but I don't think we've ever had story time. So let's go ahead, sit down, have a nice little story here. My first season playing NHL HUT, right? It was NHL 14. Now, I played NHL before that. I was always an ESHL guy. I love playing ESHL. I played it all the time. Was never in HUT. So I was like, you know what? We're going to play HUT this year. Got addicted to it. You know, typical new HUT guy. It's like, ooh, look at all these fancy cards. I got to have them. So what happened? I had this stacked HUT team. Absolutely stacked. I had the 99 Crosby, the 98 Malkin. I remember I had 3 98 Tays at one point in time. I liked the team. I liked HUT back in the day because you could not everybody had a 99. It was worth so much. Had all the players. So I went and jumped into HUT games. I lost HUT games. I was like, wow, I feel so slow. I feel so bad. What's the reason for this? It has to be ice tilt. My team's so much better than everybody else's. It has to be ice tilt. I mean, like I said, I played ESHL all the time. I was good at ESHL. I won in ESHL a lot. It had to be the reason. There was no other reason other than the fact that it was ice tilt. My team was so stacked, he was helping the other guy. What other reason could there have possibly been? Fast forward to 2019, and you stop and think, was it ice tilt? I mean, I just told you guys. I literally never played HUT, ever. It was my first year. I was never into versus. I always played ESHL. I always played today. I like playing with other people instead of having to cheese the heck out of them to win. It's just a personal preference of mine. And HUT and ESHL are completely different playstyles. They ain't even close. Now, there are your HUT players that are pretty good at ESHL, your top HUT players. But I can tell you right now, I'm not even trying to be like cocky or anything about it. I could probably beat 80% of the good people in HUT in ESHL. It's just how it is. Those same 80% of people in HUT, they probably dominate me in HUT. The difference is, it's a different playstyle. It's so much different going from HUT to ESHL. And if you just grind HUT, and you don't ever play ESHL and you jump over there, it's different. There's a learning curve. Same can be said about HUT. My point is, I went into HUT thinking I was going to be some stud player, and the only possible excuse to be is ice tilt. How could somebody beat me? I was winning the other game modes. And like I said, now you look back now, and I just said it, being good at ESHL doesn't make you good at HUT automatically. And I tell this story because I don't think ice tilt is real. I think ice tilt's better known as excuse tilt. My excuse for losing wasn't because I wasn't good enough at HUT. My excuse for losing was ice tilt. And I guarantee you right now, if I were to ask every single person what ice tilt was, I'd get at least 10 different definitions of what it is. How can that even be a thing? Like I said, ice tilt is excuse tilt. Ice tilt is an excuse to lose the game. That's what there has to be. How can there be 20 different definitions of one thing? I don't know. One person will tell you, oh, ice tilt's when you have stacked players on your team, but their players are bad, so their players play like all-stars and your players play terrible. One person will tell you how teams don't matter. Good record players are going to play worse against the bad record players, so the bad record noobs can compete in the games. Then you have people that go out there and tell you, no, that's not ice tilt. Ice tilt's when you outshoot the guy 30 shots to 10 and you still lose. And then another guy is going to be like, no, it's not that. It's not that. Ice tilt's when you go out there and you out time on attack a guy 10 minutes to 2 and you still lose the game. And another guy's going to tell you, well, ice tilt's just when you lose. I mean, plain and simple. You could have lost any other reason. You get my point. Do I need to go on? Shall we debunk some of these theories, though? Have you heard these theories before? I've heard them. I've heard them a lot. Let's start with the stacked teams. The best players in comp seasons are raking in week after week after week, hundreds and thousands of coins because they are the top 10 HUT players every single week. So what's that mean? They have an atrociously stacked team. Atrociously. It's probably best teams in HUT. Do they lose because their team's stacked? No. So how can that be an excuse? The top players are still winning with stacked teams. There can't be anybody getting ice tilted worse than the top players with stacked teams like that. How about out time on attacking a guy? Just because you had 12 minutes time on attack doesn't mean the other guy lets you get a single high quality shot off all game. I've seen it so many times. One team's got 10 minutes time on attack, one's got 2. Well, congratulations. The team that had 10 minutes time on attack spun circles in a corner for 10 minutes, and that's the reason they had that many minutes time on attack. The other guy played shutdown defense. You didn't take a shot in the slot, you didn't take a one-timer, you didn't have a breakaway. You were stuck taking turds from the point, turds from bad angles, and what happened? You got reason number 3, which is, oh, I had 30 shots and they had 8 shots. Well, I just brought it up. If you just took 30 turds from the point, 30 low-quality shots, meanwhile, his 8 shots consisted of breakaways, one-timers, slot shots, you gave up goals. That's because his shots were more high quality. Just because you shot 30 times doesn't mean you should win. And I should probably say it, I guess it's still subjective. You can have your personal opinion on Ice Tilt, I can have mine. Some people aren't going to like this. Okay, a lot of people aren't going to like hearing this. But is Ice Tilt real? In my opinion, no. Like I said, you can probably think differently, and Ice Tilt's like the politics of NHL. You're not changing someone's opinion on it, I don't think. But maybe you can shed some light. Maybe you can explain your side of the reasoning, and maybe some people can improve from the game, and maybe some people will get something from it. Because you know what I think is real, and may or may not be documented, is momentum, or RNG. RNG, if you don't know, is pretty much a gaming way of saying programmed good luck in the game. I don't think you can ever deny momentum. You give up a goal or two. I've noticed it when I'm winning, when I'm losing, and I've said it when I play Madden as well. You take a couple of touchdown lead, and all of a sudden your players play like gods, and theirs play not so great. But in real life, momentum's a thing. You go out there, you score a couple of goals, your team has the momentum. It's tough for the other team to come back. But at the same time, I mean, if you want that in the game, it is in the game. If you don't, well, it's in the game anyway. So if you don't like that, that's a completely different story. I can understand that. And momentum brings up another thing. I don't know if you call it Ice Tilt or just the way they program the game for something like defensemen catching forwards. It doesn't matter if you're good or you're bad. It feels like they program defensemen for bad players. I don't want to call that Ice Tilt. I just want to call it, that's how they program the game. I guess if you want to call that Ice Tilt, you could technically, because that is, if Ice Tilt is the definition of helping bad players, I guess you can call that Ice Tilt. That is one area you have me caught on. Ice Tilt with defensemen catching you from behind, because when you stop and think about it, is a defenseman actually ever going to catch a forward if he gets burnt from behind in real life? Probably not, especially not a McDavid, which they seem to do it in this game with there's a Jano Charas and Shea Webbers. But why do they do it in this game? Because players aren't really good at defense. A lot of people are a lot better at offense. They aren't as good at defense. They get burnt. They give up a breakaway. But EA's way of saying, well, let's try to help these guys out and keep it competitive where people can not give up a million breakaways a game. We'll make the defenseman's acceleration quicker where they can catch the forward from behind. And one way of stopping a thing, I really don't have an excuse or a reasoning for that one. That should not be in the game, and it is. So if there's one way you can tell me Ice Tilt's real, if you want to throw that in there, throw it in there. You got my vote on that one. You got my vote on saying defensemen being fast is to help bad players, because there's really no other excuse for it being programmed in the game. Maybe it's something that's been in the game forever. But RNG, what's RNG? Like I said, it's luck. You consider luck. Lucky bounces, lucky puck pickups, lucky goals. They happen. I think this is where RNG, though, it gets mixed up with Ice Tilt, because it's very easy for all of us to go out there and say, oh, we just let this guy, the goal bounced off the goalie, it went in, he got, you know, he lost the puck, came right back, I knocked him off the puck, he picked it right back up, walked it in, scored a goal. Does that happen? Absolutely. Does it happen to you? That is where you have to stop and think, though. It's very easy for us all to go out there and notice when we get the bad bounces, but go play 10 games. Check how many times you get those deflections, how many times you get those lucky pickups, how many times you get those lucky pokes that probably shouldn't happen. It does happen both ways. Now, it's debatable if people enjoy that being in the game, but again, that's almost real-life hockey as well. At the end of the day, you do get deflections. You do get lucky bounces. You don't bounce off players literally like you do in NHL 19, but, I mean, besides that, the other stuff does happen. My thought of Ice Tilt is this, and besides the whole defensive thing, until a top-tier NHL player fails to win 90% of their games every single year, you see the same guys at the top of the leaderboards every year. I can't imagine they're blaming Ice Tilt right now. Is there a reason for losing Ice Tilt? I doubt it. And as long as they're winning games, I just feel like Ice Tilt's an excuse for why people lose. I think we should stop looking for an excuse to lose, and we just got to practice to get better at the game. Because clearly they're good enough at the game that whatever quote-unquote Ice Tilt's taking place, they can overcome it and still win. So, I don't know. It's my personal opinion. It's definitely not going to be a common one. Let me know what you guys are thinking. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.